And so today we start with Google Tag Manager. So we do Google Tag Manager and then remarketing in that order till we finally get to search engine optimization. So Google Tag Manager, what's even Google Tag Manager? Let's see, Google Tag Manager. Lets you measure your advertising ROI as well as track your Flash, video, and social networking sites and applications. So basically, what Google Tag Manager does is it collects all the tags that you want to install on your website, and then it puts all of them together, optimizes them, and sends them out as one. So instead of sends them out as one. So instead of having to add different tags individually on your website, Google Tag Manager collects all those things and like groups them together and then present it as one. And before we even get started, some will say that the remaining part of this class, like from the Google Tag Manager down to the search engine optimization, are like very technical things, right? These are very technical courses that we'll be touching now. So you need to just brace up and know that we'll be doing a lot of technical things, a lot of tag, and a couple of things like that. So Google Tag Manager again collects all those tags, and in a moment I'll explain what all those tags mean, and then we'll go down to the real business, trying to get Google Tag Manager to work for us. Now, if you remember when we created our website, gmlane.mogedi.com, when we created this website, there was a time we needed to, when we touched Google Analytics, that's the beginning part of Google Analytics. We needed to install, so we opened Google Analytics. We opened a Google Analytics account, and then they gave us Global Sites tab, which we needed to install on our website. Remember, we came down to the code manager here. This is where the code is, and then we pasted the Google Global Sites tab, the Google Analytics Global Sites tab here. Remember this one. And then when we did the same thing on Facebook Pixel, they gave us another code. We installed it here. If you remember when we touched LinkedIn, they also have Pixel. So they will give you Pixel, you come down, maybe you click here, enter, and then you paste the Pixel from LinkedIn. You go to Quora, you collect it, you go down, you paste it. So at the end, your site, one, will be filled with different tags, and two, all these styles kind of slows down the site in a way, because this one will be trying to send data to where it's supposed to send to. Same thing with the other one. So all of them, so when someone is trying to open a site, different tags are now struggling trying to send data to where it's supposed to send to. And so that's where Google Tag Manager comes in. Collects all these tags together, puts them in one place, and then sends it out as one. All right, so let's get started. So Google Tag Manager here, to access it, you can search Google Tag Manager and then just click the first one here, or you can just go to tagmanager.google.com. Yeah, this is our tag manager. It's the same thing here. You see, it's the same thing. So whether you search on Google or you type the URL directly, it will still take you to the site. So we want to set up a tag manager account now. This is the one for another account. So let's switch to our email, realgmlane@gmail.com. Yeah, if you're setting up a tag manager account for the first time, you should see something like this, just a blank page like this. So let's create an account. Account name, so let's do GMLane. Country, you want to select Nigeria. If you want to share data anonymously with Google, but let's leave it. Our website here, you can see it's written here, www.mysite. So that's like the example of what you need to do. So gmlane.mogedi.com here. And then what's the target platform? Is it web, iOS, Android, or accelerated mobile pages? So we select web here. It applies if you are doing for iOS and Android, then you select whichever one applies. So you want to verify to be sure everything is okay, and then you create accounts. I accept. You can read this if you want to, and then yes. All right, we are here now. This is the Google Tag Manager account. We've just finished creating our accounts now. If you remember again, the same thing, just the way Google Analytics gave us code to install on our site. I think by now you should be familiar with these, that all these platforms cannot have access to your website if you don't if you don't install their code or paste their code anywhere, where they want it to be pasted on the individual pages you want to track. And so Google Tag Manager is giving us this code now where you need to paste on. This one says paste this one as high as the head. Remember in the head tag. So to paste this in the head tag, and then additionally you can also paste this one after the opening body tag. So let's go ahead and paste this now. You can click this button to copy. I just copy it now. Yeah, so I just copied this now, and I'm going into the this is my code. And you remember I already mentioned how the code is structured. So for now, since we want to use Google Tag Manager to control to manage our Google Analytics stack. Same thing with Facebook Pixel and different like so many other ones that we will be working on. Then there will be no need for these anymore. So I'm removing everything here, right? So as far as the head tag, let me take this down a little. Yeah, so here now, and then I paste that. This is the code the analytics gave me, the tag manager, sorry. And then I've just pasted the one in the head. Then additionally, paste this one in the body. So I'll copy this. Go to the body, and this is the body. So after the opening body tab, uh, if you're not a tech person, then you don't need to bother much about this. You will um, you can just give this to whoever is managing the website. This has to do with managing a website. So if you don't even have a website, then you don't have to bother about this, and even the rest of the courses that you'll be doing. Like remarketing has to do with the website as well. I think it's only push campaign and the email that doesn't need a website. But aside that, everything else here requires a website, and that's why I said we are going into the real technical part of it. This one I just added now. Again, if you check here, you see. I think this is optional. So whether you paste this or not, it will still work. All right, and this actually means that so if there's a JavaScript, this is the JavaScript code, right, that sends data to Google Tag Manager. So this other one now is saying if there is no JavaScript, you can see no script. So if the browser doesn't support JavaScript, then um, it should go ahead and use this, because if it doesn't support JavaScript, definitely this one will not work. So it should use this to send the data to our tag manager. And so I've just pasted this here, and I've pasted this one inside my body tag. Let's save the changes. All right, we've successfully replaced Google, all those tabs that we initially added. We've successfully replaced them with the Google Tag Manager, and we've saved it. And that's all we need to do here. There's nothing else needed here. So I think we can safely close this, but let me just leave it now. And let's click OK. So we're done with these now. Let's go back. Just let's test if this works. Remember, we removed the Google Analytics stack, so we can use Google Tag Manager to control it. And so let's go to Google Analytics now and try to see how we can, if things are still working on well. So let's go to Analytics. I'm sure you know these by now. So analytics.google.com. Or if you don't get it correctly, remember the analytics has is. If at any point you don't know it, then you can just search Google for Google Analytics, and then it should take you to that page. So we are here now. This traffic was the one I opened the website just about 7 minutes ago. And let's see, if I refresh this now, right? If I refresh this now, remember when the tag was still there, if I refresh, it's supposed to send data to this site, but it's not sending any data. So it's not seeing, because it doesn't have the right anymore. So it's not able to fit this with the data of what's happening on the site. So let's go to admin now. So go to admin, under property. You can see tracking info here. So I click my tracking code here. See my tracking code. I click this, and I get all these. This is the global site tag we initially added, but we don't need these anymore. All we need is this tracking ID. This is all we need to take to Google Tag Manager, and then we use there to set it and get things working for us. So let's go back to Tag Manager now. You want to create a new tag. Remember, all those stuff are tags. So you want to create a new tag. So let's add a new tag here. All right. This is my tag configuration. So discover more tags in the community. You want to go with this Google Analytics. Like, there are different tags. So many tags that can be installed. You see how powerful this is. You can see the LinkedIn Insights and all that. You can see Pinterest. So this means Pinterest also has tags. You can see the Quora tag. So all these tags now, instead of going to those platforms, using them, copying the code from there and pasting them one by one, you get to use this tag manager to manage all the tags that will be going on. You can see Google Ads conversion tracking, Google Ads remarketing, and all that. So let's click Google Analytics Universal. Google Analytics. That's the Universal Analytics. So you can see page views here. This means what do we want to track? Again, we are tracking page views, of course, because it's when people land on this website. So when someone views the website, that's when we want it to start sending data to analytics. All these things kind of work together. So that's why we're using page views. Later on, I'll show you how the events work. So Google Analytics settings. So this is where we will set our new variable. Let's see. Remember that tracking ID I talked about? It's here. So go to Analytics, copy our tracking ID from here, come back to Tag Manager, paste it here, and that's all. That's all you need to do. Leave all these things, leave the more settings, just leave everything like that. And then you can name these. So let's just say Analytics, or maybe GA Analytics. Actually, GA means Google Analytics. So GA settings. Yeah, or maybe just do Analytics settings. Okay, that makes sense. So we've created these and everything is here. Let's save it. All right, it's saved now and it's selected as the default Google Analytics settings. This is how Google Analytics will get to interact with your site using this tag manager. So the tag manager will now be like the middleman, arranging everything to be sure everything goes well. So now, when setting up a new tag, it's kind of divided into two sections. One section is what you want to do. Like this now, we want to track page views. And then another section is the triggering. So when do you want this tag to trigger? Don't know if it makes sense. So that's like, when do you want this tag to trigger? Like okay, you want me to send this data now to Google Analytics, but at what point do you want that data to be sent? So that's what the triggering means here. So let's click to see what happens. All pages. So this is like which of the pages is going to trigger, to send that data to Google Analytics. You can see all pages here. There are so many other things here that can be different different trigger types here. You'll still touch, I think you'll touch one of these. Um, you can see a whole lot of things here. If you want the page to trigger when maybe you have a YouTube video and you want it to trigger when somebody watches the YouTube video, or other custom events, or maybe you want it to trigger when a form has been submitted, or when maybe some links have been clicked, or when the window has loaded. But this page view is the one we are going with. So you can either click here, or you just leave it, go back, and then select the all pages that was here already. So I click all pages, and that's all. If you want to add an exception, then you can click here. Maybe if there are some pages you don't want to track, but of course we want to track all the pages. So so that's it. We've created our analytics tracking ID here. I mean the analytics tab here. We've configured it, and then we've added the triggering when it should trigger. So now let's just give it a name, just so that, because we may be working with a lot of tags and you want to name it to know what each of these does. So maybe GE, Google Analytics tracking. I don't know. Maybe that's so Google Analytics tracking tab. I think. Maybe Google Analytics tracking tab. Anyone? Okay, so let's save these now. If you don't save it, then there's no way it will work. So you want to click this button to save. All right, we save this now. You can see this is our workspace. You can see our workspace has zero modified, because we've not modified any previously added tag. It has two added tags, so because we've added two tags, we just added, see the two tags here. We added the analytics settings, and then we added the tracking tag, and so that's why we have two here. Now there's a very interesting thing up here. You can see as you're doing changes, you'll be seeing the number of changes you've done, and you'll see this preview button here. Now let me explain something. Before that, you can see this tag, this tag here. Again, you just have to forgive me that we are going a lot technical too much. I've already explained this is a highly technical class. So you can see this tag here. All these things are what's it called, like browser extensions, I think. So if you don't have this thing installed on your site, you will not be able to, Google will not be able to interact with it. So you may have to go to Google. Let me check. Google Tag Manager extension. Yeah, it's called Tag Assistant by Google. You can see it's here now. So if you don't have this here, it will not work well. I've already added it. That's why I don't see the option to add again. It's saying remove here. But for you, if you're doing it the first time, then you'll see maybe add or something, maybe add to Chrome. So you can just click here and it will install. That's how the Tag Manager will work well. So you can see the name Tag Assistant or something by Google. All right, so let me click preview now to see what happens. All right, so we clicked the preview. It reloaded the same page. We are still on the same page, but we are now in the preview workspace. This is our default workspace, by the way. And you can see you can preview and debug the workspace by visiting your site from this browser. So this Tag Manager has been installed on this browser, and Google now knows that, okay, we want to preview that website on this browser. So that's why it says we can open the website and then we'll be able to check what's happening. So let's refresh this site again. If you notice, there's nothing here. The same thing, everything we've been seeing, still the same thing here. So let's refresh this site now. All right, now you can see what is happening down here. You see the Tag Manager now pops up here, and you can see what is happening here. See summary. So it shows the tags that are installed on this page. You can see the summary here. It shows tags fired on this page. So we have the Google Analytics tracking tag, and this is it. It's fired one time. So what it means by firing is like when it sends um, when it begins to send data, so that's when you say it has been fired. So when that tag is active, it's fired. Now, down here you see tags not fired on this page. We will set up an example of tag that is not fired, and then we get it to fire. So that's like if there is an action that needs to be taken before that tag will work, that's when it's down here. So assuming we are tracking someone who clicks on this button here, and so when someone lands on this side, by default, it will not fire because the action has not been taken. But when someone comes and clicks on that button, you'll notice the tag will fire. Why this one is firing by default is because we are tracking page views, and so that's why it's here. And if we go back to analytics now, let's go to our home. You can see it's fired now. So that's why we have this one page view. So it means we've successfully installed Google Tag Manager, and we've been able to use it to get our our Google Analytics to work. So you can leave the preview now. So let's leave the preview. So that's the leave the preview mode. And if I leave the preview mode, come back here and refresh this page, this thing should disappear because we are not previewing anymore. All right, so that's it, and you're done. We're done with this. We've been able to get Tag Manager to work well with our Google Analytics, and so you want to submit. This is the last thing. If you don't submit, then this thing will just be there. All the tags and everything you set up will just be there. People will not be able to see all those things you installed. So you want to click the submit button here. Submit changes. So whether you want to create, maybe publish and create version, or you just want to create a version and then maybe save changes, or we want to publish at once. So you want to give it a name. Now this is what happened. Why you need to give it a name. Later on, you get to see that you can, when you have a lot of tags. So we can add one thing today. Tomorrow we come and add another tag. Yes, next tomorrow we come and add Facebook pixel tag. Maybe we add different tags like that. So each of the version names that you deploy, you want to give it a name that when you open it, you know exactly what was done there. So let's just add a descriptive name here. Install, I don't know, not so good. Install Google, or install Google Analytics. Yeah, I think that's, you can give it a description, anything, but it's optional. And then you can see this is our live environment. Let's see, I've not even clicked this button before. Okay, I think we have one environment here. I think you can configure and create another environment. Anyways, you want it to go live at once, so you just leave that and you click publish. Seeing like no one is listening. And that's it. So we've installed this now. If I come down here and refresh this page now, and maybe let me also open incognito. If I do dmlen.this, so the site is open here. You see, it sends the traffic to the site. So I have 2 page views now. This should update, yeah, so now. So it doesn't now it's not waiting for the preview mode to work anymore. Anybody who uses that site, it will start sending data to analytics. It's highly complex. I just hope you're able to follow along and to understand it well. So now let's go to after publishing our changes. It takes us to this page that shows the summary of what was done. So you can see we created one tag, we created one variable. That variable was the Google Analytics variable tag. That's this one. Yeah, you can see the variable here. Analytics settings. The one we added the tracking tag from Analytics. You can see all the tags that were installed. You can see the trigger. You can see the variables here and everything. So now, when I talked about versioning, I just click version now. You can see this is the version of my site. So the version 1 is live. This is the version that is live. You can see this is live latest. You can see the name. Remember that name. Install Google Analytics. So when I open this now, I can see what happened. I can see the date it was created and the date it was published. Let's see what they have here. Preview, rename, status, latest version. So you can, when you have different tabs, maybe at some point something is breaking, you may want to reverse to an earlier version that things worked well. So that's when you need these. Or maybe you want to export or edit notes. Or again, maybe you want to just click and see what was done. So that's how you get here. Okay, so that's it about analytics for now. I mean, Tag Manager for now. We've used it to get analytics to work. So let's see the concept of remarketing, what it means. Remarketing now is the concept of advertising to people who have previously interacted with your website. I've already explained this in previous classes, but not in details. So it has to do with you being able to create an audience based on people who have previously interacted with your website, and then you now use that audience that you've created to throw ads to them, right? So maybe someone comes to your website, accesses it, spends a good time there, checks everything, and then ends up not converting. So something is definitely wrong. Maybe the prices is high or something. So you may want to create like a promo. You can set up a promo code and remarket to that category of people. That's where remarketing comes in. It's you can use maybe remarketing or retargeting. They are both the same thing. So you can either remarket or you can retarget. It's still the same thing. So you've already seen how the remarketing worked on Facebook actually. Remember when we created an audience? Let me see. We went to Audience Manager. Where we created our lookalike. See, people, interested people who end up not converting. So this is a very good example. We created this, but of course the size is very low, so it may not work because we have less than 1,000 people. So mainly it works when there are maybe from 1,000 people up. That's when you can actually target people well. So with this now, this is what we created, the entire custom audience thing. So we created this custom audience. So the concept of remarketing is now being able to create this audience and then advertising to this audience here. So if you go to your audience, to your ad manager, you go somewhere, maybe you're creating a new ad. Your pause because this is okay. I'm actually on Facebook, so I need to go settle in before I can do something. That's why they are showing me this message. But if you go to set up, I'm sure you're familiar with this. Begin to set up your campaign, and then you come down here. Now you can see when you go down to audience here, this is use saved audience. So this audience that we created earlier, being able to now advertise to these people, that's the entire concept of remarketing, right? Because we've now created an audience for ourselves. We've segmented those people based on how they interact with our website. And this doesn't mean, so you can target people who maybe, if assuming it's like a furniture, I mean like an e-commerce thing, so you can target people who maybe visited the like the electronics section. They visited the electronics section, they spent good time there, they ended up not converting. So you create an audience of those people. That's how it's done. You create an audience of those people, group them together. Let's see. So you create an audience of those people, group them together, and then you go to your art where you are setting up the art. So you're creating a specific art for those people. You select that audience and then you create something different from them. So now the concept of remarketing is different from doing the normal traffic thing where you're just trying to get people to your website the first time. This one now has to do with these people have already seen your website, and even like 70% of the time, people who have previously interacted with your site, they've seen this site before or they've heard this name before. When they see another ad, they are likely to convert fast than people who are just seeing your company for the first time. So it's the same thing. The same thing Facebook allows you to remarket to these people. And even if you see that's a very high cost though. If you see these guys, Jumia, you open one website, you open their website, you open one product, and then before you know it, you go back to Facebook, they'll be throwing all those things to you. That's a very high, um, that's a very high concept. So that's actually the concept of remarketing. Same thing applies. We will focus actually on the Google part. Same thing applies with Google Ads, being able to interact using the analytics and using both analytics and Google Ads. So both of them working together to get the desired result. So let's go to ads. So ads.google.com here. We want to go back to our Google Ads account so we can better explain this. Switch to our account, real DM link. All right. So we are here now. This is the account we previously created. Now, if you see somewhere in here, you can see tools. So under tools, go to shared library. You see audience manager. That's where you define your audience. Facebook also has their own audience manager. That's where you define your audience. Now, this is very small. We've not created an audience yet. You can click here to create a remarketing audience. Maybe people who have visited your website before. You can see people who visited your website or landing pages. Maybe people who have downloaded your mobile apps, people who interact with your YouTube channel, or maybe you want to create a customer list and all that. So you can select these. But before we select that, let's just go down here to see what happens. You can see in audience insights. So your insights need a source. You've not created a source yet, but it says to set up at least one audience source. That is the first thing we need to do, and the source must have more than 1,000 people. So at least 1,000 people. And so if we set it up the first time, of course, it will not work because we have not gathered that enough data of up to 1,000 people on this test platform. But I'll still show you how the whole thing works, and then you can. These are the sources where you can pick. So like, where do you want to get your data from? Is it from Google Ads tag? Google Ads also has a tag. So with our tag manager, we can do all this. Or Google Analytics. We've not linked Google Analytics to Google Ads yet. So both of them, they don't know each other yet. So you can either click here to link it up, or you can see all these. Maybe it's like Google Play, Google Firebase, and all that. So if you don't want to use the Google Ads site to do it, it can also be done from the Google Analytics part here. So this is Google, and mostly though, we'll be, because most of the things we are going into now are actually some advanced Google Analytics. So it will be like this slash Google Analytics slash the advanced. We'll still go back there to the Google Analytics, but let's just to the advanced part. But let's just see this. So I click on admin here. I'm in the admin part. You can see in here under property, you can see Google Ads linking. Where we need to link our Google Ads. You see these now. This is our Google Ads account, 987, I think 984. You see 984, last number is 4972. You see 4972. So this means if we click this now and then we select all this and continue, it will start sending data from here to Google Ads. Google Ads will also start sending data from here to Google Analytics. You see, all of them kind of work together to help you market efficiently. So either ways, if you want to link from here, if you want to link from the Google Ads account or you want to link from the other one, so you can go to details here, and this is optimized, and then you get to click here to link it. It's not linked yet now. So let's use from this side. Anyone works best actually. So let's do from here. Link configuration. Link group title here. So the title, maybe my Google Ads account, or I don't know, DM lens Google account. You can do anything. Turn on all that applies. So this is the view. When we go to the advanced analytics, I'll still show what this means. So let's select all. Everything is selected. Creating this link enable auto tagging for all linked Google Ads accounts. Account settings, data sharing. If you want to share my analytics data with Google Ads account, of course, you want to share all data, so you link accounts now. All right, so what next? It may take up to 24 hours for your Google Ads link to begin displaying data. So when you set it up the first time, it doesn't work immediately, but it will, within 24 hours, it begins to get, to catch all the data from here, start sending it to analytics, also start sending data from, to Google Ads, also start sending data from Google Ads to this account. And so you can use this to create a remarketing audience. This is where we are most concerned in, to create a remarketing audience in analytics. So remarketing with Google Analytics lets you segment your audience. Remember, so the entire concept of Google Analytics, of remarketing, has to do with creating audience. So to create an audience for your website visitors, so people who have visited the site before. It's a take advantage of analytics data to identify those users' interests. Example, which product pages they visited. So if you have different pages, you can, you can create the ads to target people who visited different pages. I've already explained that. And build audiences focused on those users. You can click here to get started, or just click done. But let's click here to see where it will take us to. Yeah, this is the remarketing page for our audiences. So by enabling remarketing, because it's not enabled yet, Google will collect additional data about your traffic to enable display and search remarketing. So all this. You enable remarketing and create your first audience, all users for you. So let's go to the next. So with this now, Google Analytics trying to create a new remarketing audience for us. So you can see audience name here. You see all users. And you can see the number, the estimated display audience size, active since the last 7 days. Of course, this is very small. People don't even open this. So that's why there's nothing here. But if it's a site that has enough data, then you can start seeing the audience size. It means the number of people that falls in this audience here, and then the membership duration. So like when somebody opens my website for the first time and maybe is grouped into this audience here, it means within 30 days, it will take the person about 30 days to finally, for the person to finally leave this audience. So it means we can advertise to these people for the next 30 days until this person finally falls out of this audience. Then you can see the audience definition here, all of this. So let's see what happens here. Audience destination. Choose the destination where you would like to publish your audience. Note, you can't change the destination account for this after publishing. So let's see. You've selected 0 publishing. Of course, you want it to go to both Google Ads and Analytics. So we just select the 2 there and then enable. Successful. See, so with this now, we've created our audience. You can close this, or if you want to go back to the audiences page. All right. So we have our audience now. A full list. You can see the type, the people who are like the platforms that are getting this data. Now let me go back to the default homepage, just in case maybe you're wondering how you want to get back to this page. So this is our default homepage where we were accessing before. And let's go to admin again here. I'm in admin now. You can scroll down a little. You see audience definition. So I click here, you see audiences here. Okay, so this is that page we saw. This is the date this audience was created, not modified. It has not yet been modified. And so you can see the membership here. So let's see all users. Okay, so this is everything here in case you just want to edit or change something. And again, they said after adding this that you cannot edit it. So let's go back and let's refresh on the Google Analytics page to see what happens. So let's go back to audience manager here. You can see that that's audience that we just created on Google Analytics automatically appears here. You see this now. People who visited pages that contain your remarketing tab. You can see website visitors here. The size is 0 because there's nobody there. All this. So even if you try to advertise using this audience, it will not work because, of course, it's 0. So Google will always tell you that it should be at least 100. So both platforms kind of work together. Whether you want to stay here to create your audience, or you want to use Google Analytics to do it. Let me just go back to this page again to show you. You know how I got here? I clicked tools, I clicked audience manager, and then this is my audience list. So I clicked here, and let's see what happens. Audience inside. Let's go to this page now. Actually, it's supposed to show that this place has been linked already because it's already linked and there's nothing else to set up except maybe you want to add a new data source. Yeah, if you want to add a new data source. But aside that, there's nothing else to do there. So let's go to the audience list. From here, we can click here, create website, so audience of our website visitors. So maybe let's see. So this is like visitors of a page. So people who visited a page. If you click this, you will have to add. You can see the visited page here. So you have to add the page here, the page that somebody visited. Now, if you click visitors of a page, who also visited another page, right? So this is like saying visitors of maybe people who landed on my home page, who also visited my services page, and maybe also visited my about us page, and also visited my contact page. So that's a very good audience of people that have. You can just click on it to see what it looks like. You see, this visited people who visited this page and also visited another page. Now, if I click, it's just to add the page here. So I can do like let's see, dmlen.com. I mean .com slash. By default, people should actually visit here. So you can do slash this. So people who visited the home page and also visited, you can see this is page URL. So whether it's you're tracking based on the page URL or the referral URL that contains, so maybe if the URL contains this name or if the URL is equal to this, then you can just go ahead and select this. But mostly I like using the contents. Both of them actually work though. Where you would want to use the contents mostly though is if maybe you want to do something like if the page contains maybe about us, something like that. So you're not writing the full URL, but if the URL contains anything that looks like this, then it falls inside this category. So let's just leave it at this. Remarketing.com. You can add another one. So you can add another page here if you want to. So people who visited all these pages and also visited my contact page. So maybe this contains, I don't know, let's say contacts. People who visited these and also visited the contact page. So that's the one we are tracking. But the one that works mostly is visitors of a page. So people who visited a particular page and then the unvisited page here, right? So people who visited this page, they also visited dmlen.mortgagee.com slash contact, I think. Yeah, slash contact. So they visited this homepage, they visited this. They also visited, maybe they even visited my about us page. I think I should just do content. So let's do about. I don't know if the, let's see. I want to see if I got the link correctly. Okay, it's not about, it's about us. So people who visited about us, and you can set as many pages as you want to track. This is a very good audience. People who visited all these sites, all these pages, and ended up not visiting contact slash thank you. This is the when you fill the contact page and it's successful, then you see this. So when it's successful, that's when you see this. That's when it takes you to this page. So people who visited all these and ended up not visiting this page, that's the audience we want to check. Of course, it's very small. We don't have data. That's why the audience list is very small here. There's nothing shown here. So you can also set another one, or so maybe they did not visit this one. They visited all these, and they did not visit this one, or maybe they did not visit newsletter slash thank you. So this means people who visited all these, and they did not visit either of these. So they did not visit, they did not submit they did not fill the contact form, and they did not submit their email for newsletter. So it means they just ended up reading all this and they left the site without doing anything at all. That's a good audience that we can create. I think the next one here is visitors of a page during a specific date. So if you have some dates you want to check, or with specific tags, so let's just leave those. Pre-filled options, let's see what they have here. Pre-filled lists with people who match the audience with this. So if you want Google to, to pre-fill the list, then you just go ahead with this. Else, if you want to start with an empty list, so empty list is to start from that day. But if you want it to start with previous data, then that's when you select this pre-fill. Of course, you want to leave the default one there. Membership duration. So how long people will stay in this list before they will stop seeing the ad. So this is 30 days. Maximum membership duration is 540 days. So this means someone can add you in their list for about 540 days. Actually, 540 days. Let's see. So that's like a year and I think about 4 months. I think if it's correct. So that's someone adding you in their list for about a year and 4 months. Just to occasionally throw ads to you. You want to add description so you know what happened here, then you can add, and then you need to give this audience a name. People visited, visited, maybe visited, home, contact, and contact about us, and uh, did not convert, because those are the two sites I have for conversion, to track conversion. Either you submit the contact form or you join our newsletter. So they did not convert, and so you want to create an audience with these people. You want to verify again that everything is okay, then you can create this audience. You see, we've created this audience now. So visitors, of course, the size is 0. We don't have any data now. The size is 0. It's still trying to populate. When it's done populating, then if you're creating an ad, you can use this audience. Same thing on analytics, but analytics own is actually very broad. But before that, though, let's go back to our ads. So let's see. I have this ad now. Search ads. Let's go to our ad group, because it's in the ad group that we set our audience. So this, let's say I want to edit this very one. Let's go back to ad groups, and this. Okay, this is if you want to edit any of this, but there's a place to edit the audiences that I want. Anyways, let's create a new audience here. I mean a new ad group. I think you already know all this. Standard. This is okay. So let's where is the place to create audience? These are the data for to create an ad. Let's go back, and I think let's try to create a new campaign. Actually, let's leave this. So let's create a new campaign here. Go to campaign, create a new campaign here. Let's say we want to create in the search. You remember all this Google search, and then you're targeting website visitors, dmline.com, .com, and then click continue. All right, let's go down to where we see audiences. Yeah, so this is where we have our audience, and let's see. So we can browse audience here. You can see combined audiences here. You haven't created any combined audience yet. Um, actually the audience we created is supposed to pop up here. Select audiences to add to your campaign. You can create new audience in the audience manager. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's a combined audiences, but this is the one we are looking for, the remarketing with similar audience. So let's click. If everything, okay, yeah, we got it here. So this is the audience we already created. So this means we can create a new campaign that targets this audience only. Combined audience, I think that's something else. So you want to go create, like to go combine some audience. But this is the one we are looking for the remarketing. This is the audience we already created. Remember this one that came from Google Analytics. So you can create different audiences. Of course, you want to target people based on, like you want to split things. You don't want to target, um, I mean, it depends on your business though. Because you may want to target all the visitors of your website, people who have come before, but that means you'll also be throwing your ads to even people that have converted. So you want to check this to know what you are doing very well. So this is just it about remarketing. We create our audience and then we come to create a campaign. We select the audience we are targeting. You can hover here to see what the size looks like. And then you can see all from here, you can see everything we created. So people who visited all these and did not, so exclude people who visited pages which match any match rule. Yeah, which match any rule group actually. Yeah, so you'll be targeting these. You've already created the audience. So that's the concept of the remarketing. We can still come. Yeah, I just explained that that the same thing again. Audience on analytics, but on analytics it's more powerful than the one on Google Ads. So let's create. You know how I got here? I clicked admin, and then under property, I came to audience definition. I clicked audience here. So this is uh, the view. When we go to the advanced, I'll still show you what the view means. So this is a view that we have. That's the analytic view that we'll be sending data to analytics to Google Ads. Now you can see audience definition. This is where we define our audience. There's a smart list here. Let's see what happens based on historical conversion data, but we don't have any conversion data yet. So Google tries to use this smart list to track all the conversions you have on your site, and then Google will try to present you with a list of people who have not converted, but they've taken a particular decision, particular action on your site. You can also track maybe all users or people who are new users only, or returning users, or users who visited a specific section of my site. So maybe people who visited like shopping carts, and then users who completed a transaction. So where this would work is if someone completes a transaction, then maybe after like 30 days, you may want to tell the person that you have new offers, so they should come and check, or you have, excuse me, or you have new items in stock. So you may want to use that, but mostly you want to create a new one. You can see a lot of things here. Here you can even set the audience based on people's demographics. So let me do this. Let me select just these two. Let's select the board. You can set language here. You just click here, you see the language available. You can see affinity category. Our site doesn't have the affinity. I think I've shown you affinity and in-market segments on my live account. Yeah. So if we start having those data, then as I click here, you see it pops up, and then we can select the one we want. Other category, there's nothing here. So location, you can see we have Africa and all this. You can set the one you want. That's because this is in the continent. You can go down to maybe country, and then I think you should be able to set Nigeria. Yeah, so this means, it's using this data based on people that have visited my website. So this means on my site, I have, so far I've gotten people from these three locations, from these three countries who visit the site. So I can choose to target people. As I'm adding, you see the data showing here. So that's it about demographics. You can go to technologies, and you can see all the operating system people are using. You set the one you want. The operating system version, the browser, Chrome, Opera, Samsung Internet, and all that. Device category, let's see what they have here, whether desktop or mobile. You can also target them based on their behavior. So this is like the last session. Segment your users on how often they visit your site. So maybe the session, maybe if it's up to like 2 times. So if they visited my website for like 2 times, like 2 sessions, then I may want to target them. or days since last session. So this means if I don't want to target this, let's say if someone visited my website and it has taken about 30 days since the last time the person visited the site. So that's like the person visited and abandoned my website. It has not opened again. So I may want to create an audience for them and then push my ad to those people. Or if there's a transaction that I want to that this person has already taken, transaction per user, then you may want to set this. We've not configured all this, and then session duration, like how much time the person do spend on our site. I think it's calculated on, is it seconds or minutes? Yeah, in seconds. The length of a session in seconds. So like 5 seconds. So if someone has spent, or maybe let's say this person has spent like 120, or let's say 5 minutes, 5 minutes to minutes to seconds. Yeah, so that's 300 seconds. So if you, I'm sure you now know how powerful Google is. So you can, how, like you don't have to crack your brain over everything. You can just use Google to set all those things. So this means if this person has uh, visited, the last time he visited the site was 30 days ago, and the person used to spend up to like 5 minutes on my site, and that means that person is a very good user. You may not get up to that, except maybe you have a page that someone comes to read or to research a lot. That's when they will spend. But this is a good example, though. So maybe date of first session. So you can set the date that the person first visited your website. So between the first session and and any of this, so you can set the date of the first session and maybe also the traffic sources. Remember when we created, when I showed you um, the campaign tracking by URL? This is where it applies also. So you can track people based on the previous campaigns, based on the campaigns that they used to come to your site. So you spent a lot of money getting people to come to your site, and then for like 30 days they've not used your site. So you may want to use any of these. Remember the banner thing that we created. If you remember, this was the one we created yesterday, I think, the promo. Yeah, we created promo, and then we created banner as the medium. And I think we created source being Google. Yeah, this is what we did yesterday. So this is a very good example of setting all those things and then using them to group those people into one audience and finally get them to see your art again and try to get them back to the site. This is a very advanced site where you have to there are a whole lot of things here. There are a whole lot of things here, maybe based on behavior, the timing, events level. There's so many data here. You can just check them yourself. Maybe the time, how much time they spend, or the user, what device they use. And I think something like pages. So landing page, so you can check maybe based on the pages this person has viewed, and then you can use the and the or if you want to remove. And remember, I'm sure you're used to the contents now, how it works. So all that, and then there's also the sequences. You can create a sequence based on maybe this person took this action, and the next step that the person took was this, and the next step was this, and the person finally ended up not converting. So you want to create them, group them in one audience, and but I'll just leave it at this. This is a few that I've just selected. Of course, we don't have this much data, so it may not show enough data, but that's good enough. It's zero now because nobody falls in that category. Um, Look back 7 days. So whether you want to look back 7 days or 30 days, let's just leave it at 7 days by default. And let's see what this means. It lets you specify a time frame for evaluating the behavior that qualifies user for your audience. So this is to check like how long Google um, should check the data of somebody. Like if somebody falls in this category, like how long should Google check to know the people that falls in this category to group them here? That's what the look back concept means. And the eligibility. Yeah, so you can, let's see this. It shows the destination to which you can publish the audience based on its definition. Of course, we don't have much here. And you can see even the user in the last 7 days. Let's even check something. Okay, so you can see the user I was thinking if maybe if I change this will change. So you can see the user in the last 7 days is 0. Nobody falls in this category, but it's good enough as an example to explain this. So just name your audience something good. Say 25 so 44. Um, male and female, male and female. Spends 5 minutes. Came through promo campaign. So next step. That's a good enough name. So if I see it, I will easily know what that is about. This audience is not eligible to be published to any current destination. Please revise the definition or consider adding new destination. Where this destination is eligible to be published. You have selected 0 destination. And so, of course, that's because, let's see the audience again. Definition. So that's because, all these kind of, like the people there, everything is 0. So there's no, we are not able to define. So that's like the audience definition. That's like it's 0 because there's nothing there. So Google kind of works. All this audience kind of works best when, when there are over 1,000 people in that category. So that's when it works best. Um, if it works, then you will just click here and then save it. And when you now go to, because we've linked Google Analytics to Google Ads, then if you come down to the audience insights here, then you could see all the audience you've defined here. And then you can use those audiences to create custom, ads that are tailored towards the activity those people have taken on your site before. The remarketing concept is a very broad thing. I just hope I'm able to at least let you understand how it works, so that if you get to start playing around it, and of course this needs a website. So if you don't, it needs a website with a lot of traffic. With a lot of traffic, at least 1,000 people to fall in that category. So if it doesn't work, you can see like what I just tried to create now. It was just to show you what it looked like. So if you don't have that much traffic, then this will probably not work. And you see this one is still trying to populate. It will not even see the data to populate. So there's no data here. If you have any questions on remarketing, let me know. Either remarketing or retargeting. Again, it's the same thing. So you can call it anything you want. If you have any question or anything or comment or something, just let me know. Okay, nothing. And I hope you understand. Is there anybody that is able to understand this? Just unmute your mic, say something. Let me know if you're following. Can anybody say something, please? Yeah, I actually said it at the initial time that this is highly technical. So, well, I just hope you understand and you get the concept. So as you begin to play around it, you'll get to understand it. Yeah, Victor Conqueror. It's highly technical, very very. All right, so let's at least the push campaigns and the email campaigns. Those ones are not technical. So let's tackle those. Okay, so let's see. What's even push campaigns? So push campaigns are okay. Let's get push. Push campaigns tries to push product towards customers using big beats, using big ads and attention-grabbing claims to put product into the minds of customers. Now let me go into images to show you an example of what push campaigns looks like. All right. If you've ever gotten this image is too small. Let me see. So if you've ever checked your phone, maybe you swipe from the top and then you see like a campaign, you see like advertisement something up there that tries to introduce you to a website, or maybe you're opening like you're doing some things on the site on different things, and then you see one site, you can see towards the right section here. I'm trying to draw something. So you see one ad that kind of pops up here. I probably should get a good example. This is what it looked like. I think this is Safari. So you can see this is a push campaign that has been pushed to this person. And then you can see other ones here. Let's see push campaign on Windows. Let's see. Trying to get a good example just so you get the visual understanding of what this looks like. Push campaigns on Windows. Yeah, I'm not seeing the one for Windows, but it comes and it shows just somewhere at the right here, and then it kind of most times it uses some very nice images, some nice captions to catch your attention. Attention grabbing captions, so you would want to go check it out. So that's what a push campaign is, and I'll show you different examples of this. And the push campaign actually works in the sense that this one you don't have to open Google. You don't have to open Google to search something. You don't have to open Facebook to go try browsing before you see the ad there. You're just doing something else, and then you see one ad that pops up, maybe just notification from the top there, you swipe. If it's something that catches your attention, you may want to go check it out. And it also has targeting, so you can also target people who matter most to your business. That's the concept of push campaign, and it's like a two-way thing. Unlike Google is you are catching someone at the point when they need your service, right? But the push you can send to someone that is not even interested in that; they will just swipe it off. And again, the push is like a CPC thing, so you are paying. I mean, like it's a PPC, so it's a paid per click uh, uh, network, paid per click campaign. They are paying only when someone clicks on it. So to get the impressions, to send that thing to different people, are absolutely free. If you use Opera, I think Opera do that a lot because Opera sells push campaign on Opera. Because Opera sells advertisements, they sell ads. So they get people. I'm not able to see the. Okay, I think something like this. So they get people pay them to advertise for them, and Opera uses some creatives from those people to push the campaigns to their users because they have a lot of users. But of course, you won't want to go use Opera except you have a lot of money because it's very expensive. On Opera ads, you can spend about Opera push ads. You can spend about 30,000. This is dollars. You can spend about $30,000 in 3 months on Opera ads. So that's about $10,000 per month. It's actually very expensive. So let's check some examples of push campaign networks that work that I do use myself. I know about Avadav. This is I'm actually not advertising for these people, but I'm just showing you guys the tools I do use a lot. So this is it. I can monetize, I can advertise. You can just set up a new account. Let's select role. So if you're an advertiser or a publisher is if you want them to advertise on your site, then you just go ahead with this. And actually, let's use real let's use this password. I wish this opened because I actually have some live uh, data there that I would have loved to show you. Okay, they are requesting for either Skype. Let's just because most time they want to send their agents to follow up on you. So either this or Telegram. But this is not a real thing, but just so you can cross the stage. I think I click here. Alright, they've sent an activation link to my email. So let's see. Oh, okay. A lot of emails here. I'll check. You can see I got the notification that we've linked Google Analytics and Google Ads. So let's verify the email now. All right, email has been verified and we are in here now. Thank you for your registration. Let's close this. Oh, I don't want to close it. They want you to create campaign at all means. So let's click here. All right. So you have the campaigns here, the paying dollars, and let's see what the fonts look like. So inside the fonts here, you can use any of these to fund your account. And the minimum deposit is $100. I mean, you may not use this immediately. I told you I'll just be showing you guys all the tools or most of the tools I do use. So it's just so you know, just um, in case someone is asking, different stuff that you can do, then you can also explain that you know how to create a push campaign. So you can come to create campaign here, create the campaign name. I won't fill all this, but and then they have push whether push notification. This is the one that comes when someone this is the one I just explained when that comes as a notification, and then they pop on there. Let's see what pop on there means. Pop on there. These are pops. I mean, pop under or pops are art formats which have become popular. Okay, what is a pop under art? This is a window that appears behind the browser of a website that a user has visited. So this is like when you open a site, you'll notice sometimes you are clicking on one thing. As you click on it, another page opens behind, or it takes you to another page and then also shows you the other page you were opening. That's the pop under concept. So if you want to do the pop under, all those Google and Facebook, they don't do the pop under ad. Um, it's people like this that do. And most people who use these are like the betting people, like Bet Niger and all that. They use this a lot. So you're trying to open another site and then you suddenly see yourself in Bet Niger website. This is how it works. And then push notification. What do you want to focus on? Or like how do you want to pay? Is it cost per click when someone clicks on it, or cost per 1,000 impression? That's what CPM means. So you want to focus on this and dmland.remarketing.com. So let's see this. So if you want to, this is the website I want to advertise now. Don't worry about the source ID, campaign ID, and all that. They are just to guide. So if you click on any of these, just for it to send some data to your Google Analytics, so that when you want to track, you can know where people are coming from. Then you can click on any of this. Frequency, like how many times you want them to show your ad to one person per day. So maybe like 2. And of course, that will affect the amount of money you're spending. But not much, because you're only paying when someone clicks on it. That's the concept of CPC. Push notification types. So we have the classic push and the in-page push here. Let's see. Actually, I don't know what this means. Kind of like new thing they just added, but you can just leave the two. Uh, yeah. You can upload an image here, so something like a perfect square. Let's see if we have our image to upload. All right. So it has this crop thing. You can use this to expand it if you want to, and then click crop. You can create the title of your ad here. Let's see, maybe this thing. Maybe land. Free. Blah blah blah. You can just write anything you want. Okay. I just duplicated this. I don't want to waste time typing on that. If you want to add another image that's kind of bigger, you can add it here. And then you can, let's see if the preview push button works. Okay, I think I need to upload this first. So if you upload this, final image adapts to the device. I think I've set everything. Let's see. Preview push notification. It's not allowing me to preview. Probably I need to add the image here, but when you preview, you should see what the art will look like, you know, the way the art will show. And then you can come down to the countries. So if it's like you're setting a particular country, then maybe like Nigeria. So let's see, Nigeria. You know, if you want to remove all, then you can remove. You can control your bit here. See the recommended bit per click, so you can do 0.014. Of course, you can go higher, you can go lower. This is the minimum, this is the maximum. You can choose city, the city in Nigeria, so maybe Lagos. And let's see what they wrote here. Please enter 3 or more characters. Okay, so when you start typing something, then it pops up. You can also do maybe Abuja. Let's see if they have Abuja. Yeah, so you see they have all of this, and then you can go into the targeting, you know, all the devices you want to target and all this. You just check all this and set it. Then campaign schedule, if you want to set when you want your campaign to run. If you want to set a limit on how much you want to spend daily, or this. If you want to define your audience, of course, yeah, audience is not so powerful like that, but blacklist and whitelist. So if you want to, let's see blacklist. Let's see what they have here. Optional, set audience to serve as list. One or more character. Okay. They don't have anything, it's not popping up any results. So you just leave that. And then when you're done, you just launch your ad. This is very effective. Like you can see the ads being shown to like millions of people. You know, with my $100, my ads can reach about 1 million people. The thing is, one, the conversion rate here is not as high as people who go on Google to search, because when they search, they are seeing your ad, which of course is very relevant to what they were looking for, and so it's likely they will want to click on it. But here, it gives you a lot of impressions. It gives you that awareness. So even if people don't click on it, they will still get to see that. Oh, okay, see this side. They see it today, they see it tomorrow, they see it next tomorrow, one day. I mean, even if they don't want to, it kind of sticks to their brain. So when they want to, you know, when they finally want to do something, maybe if I'm advertising like a digital marketing class, people keep seeing it and nobody wants to learn digital marketing now. And later on, you know, later maybe they want to learn, they will remember, oh, I've been seeing this DM learn some art somewhere. Okay, so they want to go check it out. That's how it works. But mostly it also do give a lot of conversion too. Unfortunately, I'm not able to sign into my other account, but this is it. You can see all the audiences here. Okay, I think this is where you actually create your audience. So let's see, new audience. Uh, I mean, this audience is just not that powerful, so you can just leave it. Yeah. Um, Update if you want to. You can see statistics. There are different. I'm not advertising these guys, right? I'm just showing you the the ones I do use. Now the other ones, uh, push. Let me see if I will see. Okay, so I've used this DATS push before. You see, this is like my browser history. I've used this DATS push before. I've used a couple of other ones. So you can just search on Google, maybe push ads network. Yeah. And then you can see a lot of them trying to uh, advertising. Yeah, this froggy art is one that is nice as well. I've used it before. See the DAX push I just showed you now. Or you can go on Quora to read what people are saying about push campaigns and the ones that are most effective. I've also wasted some money. I've used one of the platforms. So I funded my account on one platform. They ended up not even crediting it. I mean, not even approving my ads. So they don't allow my ads to run. I try to reach their people. They don't respond. You know, nobody responds. So my $100 got wasted there. Um, you can check people's reviews and settle with whichever one will work best for you if you want to. You know, but aside that, just know the push campaign is a powerful campaign as well. If you have any question on push campaigns, let me know, please. We have about 9 minutes left. Is there any question? No question. Okay, so let's check email marketing, what it looks like. So, you know how I talked about people who visit the site and end up not submitting their details here. End up maybe not filling the contact form and not subscribing to my newsletter, not subscribing to my newsletter list here. So now, um, for people who subscribe here, and that's how you gather data. For people who subscribe here, this site is connected uh, to a database that keeps record of all these people here, right? So it keeps record of all the email submissions here. Now I can carry those emails, use any email marketing platform to to send email campaigns, regular email campaigns to those people to try to remind them about our business, and and also try to get them to patronize us. Um, and so what I would do is there are different email marketing companies out there. Yeah, there is Get Response. All these are actually very easy to use. There's the Intercom, um, and all that. You can see a whole lot of them. Send in Blue and so many of them. The Mailchimp is actually the one I use most, and I think it's very easy to use. So you can just search Mailchimp here. You can see I use it a lot. You can see some of my Google search uh, history. Yeah, so Mailchimp, either you click here or you just go directly to mailchimp.com and open it. This is the only one I'll just show you. So it gets us here. Let's see if we can create a new account. Sign up free. Email real DMLane. The username, you need to create a username, so DMLane. Password, let's create a password that is strong. Alright. I don't want to receive, so if you tick this, it means you don't want to receive the regular updates. So let's go in. To send an email, I need to, okay, this is the EverDev. This is the email from MailChimp now. So let's click on it. So let's confirm we are not robots. I already clicked on it. All right. With free accounts, you can have up to 2,000 contacts. That's up to 2,000 email list emails in your email list actually, and then you can send up to 10,000 email monthly. You can see the amount for essentials. You can see the standard, and you can see premium. So if you want to go higher, you may want to go with that. All right. So let's complete this. We are going with the free one. Welcome to this. So let's create our name here. What's the name of your business? Uh, Website address, https://dmlane.magedi.com. Then you can click here to continue. You set the address here. Let me find one address. Let me use this Alfred one. So you just set your address here. You can leave this phone number optional, and then continue here. Do you have any contacts? Yes. So let's say we have, what's the size? Let's say 500 or less, and continue. What do you offer or plan? Services. You're ready to go. So want to start in the loop, want to stay in the loop with MailChimp, don't subscribe to, I mean, you can subscribe if you want to know what they are doing. They are setting up the accounts now. You're almost there. Next thing is to start designing your first email and to add contacts. So you can say, let's say we'll do this later, and then I think I'll do all this later as well, and I'm good. I don't need to see this anymore. So, all right. So we are here now. We can see our audience here. So let's try to add to our audience. The audience is like the email list that we have, but there's nothing there now. So let's go to audience and try to add. You can see it's only one here. That's us here. So you can add a new subscriber or maybe import. So if there's only one person you want to add, then you can use add a new subscriber, add that email, add the person's details, and then that's all. But if you want to import more, like to add multiple emails at once, I clicked import and it takes me to this page. And if you have it as a CSV or text file, then you want to use this. Or if you want to do copy and paste, like you have it somewhere, you want to copy all and paste here, then you use this. Or integrated service. So if the contacts are in your Google Drive or this or Zoho or any of this. So let's go with this. I selected copy and paste and then click continue here. All right, so it takes me to this page where I can add all the emails. Now, most likely, you can have. Let me open this. I should probably close this. So most likely, you can have something like. Let me use editpart.org. So let's say you can have something like this. Let's have a couple of emails, maybe realdmland1 at gmail, yeah, that's gone. Maybe realdmland2 at gmail.com. So you can have different emails here, as many as, but of course, since it's a free plan, you cannot add more than 20,000, more than 2,000. So I just copied all my emails here now, and I'm here. So I want to paste here now. All right. So 1 and 2. I understand that my billing plan may change, and then continue to match. Of course, these email addresses don't work, so it will not, like, we are not sending it to real people. You can create tags if maybe you want to group those people by tags. If not, you just leave this. If you want to subscribe the person or unsubscribe, and then if you want it to update an existing contact if it already exists. So let's continue to review here. We are set to import. Everything is done. You can see status and all this. So let's import. Yeah, so 2 contacts added. We just brought in the 2 contacts. Now you see we have 3 contacts here. 1, 2, 3, and all this. Of course, this ones are not real contacts, but it's fine. Just test this. All right, so set up your automated welcome email. If you want to set welcome email to be sent to these people whenever they join, then you can do that. Else, you want to create an email. You see different things that you can create. You can create email, ads, or maybe websites, and all this. Or you just go ahead and create a new campaign. Let's go to campaigns. We have 3 contacts. Let's create a new campaign here. We are creating an email. What's the name of the campaign? Maybe test campaign. And then let's begin. So you can add up to 87 characters here. Let's begin. Okay, it takes us to this page. This is the name of the campaign. You can see the people we are sending the email to. If you want to edit, then you can edit. If you want to check who these people are, then you can click and it's opens. I think you can see a list of, yeah, you can see a list of all the emails you're sending that thing to. So let's you can edit this if you want to. This is from. So who is sending the email, or who is sending this campaign? This would be the name. So let's do GM9 and save this. That's the name. That's the email, and you can set the subject here. So subjects can be, you see some good examples. Try to use no more than 9 words. Try to use no more than 1 emoji. So if you want to use an emoji, avoid using more than 60 characters. And then avoid using more than 3 punctuation marks. So use something that will catch attention, because again, this is an email. Remember the concept, what these people are doing here, how they try to get us to click their ads. So it will not come like this. This is a Gmail ad, but it will come as an email to them. People do have my own. I try to check my email as much as possible. The ones I don't want, I delete them. But there are people mention me in their profile, or someone actually mentioned this. I'm happy. Oh, I'll check this later. So there are people who, there are people who have like thousands of emails. So you are trying to bid for the attention so they can click on it. So you want to use um, a email subject that catches attention well. So use something very nice, maybe learn, I don't know, learn. I don't know why I'm typing wrong. Okay, you can use the preview text. Preview text is like this. You see this thing, this one here is. Let me go down. You see those ever deaf people, they've started trying to follow up on me. Let's push your conversation with ever deaf. It's if that my Skype details are correct by now, I'll be seeing some Skype emails from them. So this is the subject, and this message here, this little message here uh is the preview text here. That means the little text they will see when they've not even opened the email yet. It's optional. You can set something if you want, or you can leave it. And then we come down to the email design itself. So this is where we design our email. So you see a lot of templates here. You can choose anyone that applies to your brand. I think it's like an educational stuff, so we may likely use this. You can add logo as well, or you can create your own theme, or you want to code your own yourself. So let's just go with. Oh, okay. I need to upgrade to use this. Uh, this ones are the free ones, so let me use the free one. I click that, it takes me to this page where I can design my email as I want. So I can click here if I have a logo, but of course my logo is very big, so it will not enter this place. But you want to work with your designer to create a logo that is short, that fits into this. I won't want to bring in that logo, it's too big. And then you can showcase your products here. So you see when I click on it, it takes to this page. I can edit anything here. I can add a new section if I want to. I can edit any of this. Um, and then I can even create a new button. You see, they have different things if I want. Let's save and close this. And if I don't want to go ahead with this, then I can pick any of these. Maybe if it's a text that I want to add, then I think I can just click this and drop it here. And then it shows here, so I can add whatever text I want to add. You can format it if you want to, and then maybe close it. You can see different things. If I want to add a divider, image group, social media icons. So let's bring this in here. You see the social media icons. There are a whole lot of them. Skip this message. There are a whole lot of them here. So I can, let's see, I can add another service if I want to. You see all the social media accounts here. So I can add them and then add the page URL and the title for it. So let's assume we are done with this. We are done designing this. Let's continue here. Hang on, there's still placement holder. So they've seen that we are still using all the placement holder, but let's exit anyway. So let's assume we are done with this. Of course, you will not want to just leave it at that. You automatically to use your email, remove or replace the. Okay, so they don't want to allow us to send it. But let's just see if the test email. So when you are done designing your email, you want to test it first by sending it to yourself to see if everything works well. So let's send a test email here. Oh yeah, they're speaking French for me. I think this French. I don't know. So let's refresh this page. You can see the notification here that says our import has been completed. And let's wait for the email to arrive. If everything is okay, it's supposed to arrive somewhere down here so we can see what the email looks like before we actually send it to people. Or maybe they don't want to send it because we are using a lot of placeholder. Let's close it. Because we are using a lot of placeholder text. So maybe we can, let's see if we can just quickly edit this. So let's quickly edit this. Let me remove all this. remove this, or let me edit this one and say welcome. Yeah, welcome to my website, and then remove this. All right, so start shopping. Let's remove this. We just want to remove all the placeholder thing they added, so we can see if the test email will come, just so we can see what it looks like. I think that should be it. And okay, all right, there's one remaining, so let's remove this also. I mean, you won't want to remove this. I'm just removing it because I don't have the time to sit and start designing my email. So you won't want to remove all the stuff. You can structure it the way you want. So you see, it's not showing the error anymore. Now let's test again if our realdmlane@gmail.com. Let's test again if our test email will come. Send. If it still doesn't come, then probably their server has. Let me close this and let me try to refresh. It's not coming. I'm not sure. Probably their server, or maybe it's going to delay to come. But that's how it's done. The email will come as just a normal email, but it will have test somewhere here, so you can know that it's not a real email. It's a test email. And then if it's okay, if you've tested everything and you've seen that everything is okay, let me see something. Edit form. All right. So if you've tested everything, you see everything is okay. The last thing is, or if you maybe want to schedule it to send later, or you want to just leave it in the draft to finish later. When you're done with everything, you've checked everything, you've tested it, you've sent it to yourself, and the email has entered. So you want to come click this button. You can see this little icon here that the hand is shaking. You're about to send a campaign to these people, to 3 subscribers. This is your moment of glory. So you hit send now, it will go to all those people. I don't want to send, but just showing you. So it's similar, all the other platform. If you're checking some, I mean, if you're checking some email campaign uh, companies out there, like the Get Response, like Send in Blue, and so many of them, it's kind of similar. You have your audience, you import your email, and it can also be automated, so that if people are using my website as a create account, it's fetching their email and sending it to the MailChimp or any of those platforms at the same time. So I won't have to manually come and set all these myself. You can just want to explore that. And that's it about sending emails. Sending email. Yeah. Uh, I'm actually very tired. This is 9 minutes past 1 already. So maybe we can just stop here. But I want the class to end today, because from next week I have like another another very serious engagement to do. So I would want to move on to something else. So I don't know if we can quickly gather again in the evening, so we can complete this. And I promise it will not take up to 30 minutes. I'll try to limit it to 30 minutes. So I will just, the advanced Google Analytics, we've almost touched everything. It's just to show you guys what Google Optimizer does and how it's being used. You can see another tag I have here, Google Optimize. So that's this tag here, how it works. And then, so sorry. So this Google Optimizer, the search engine optimization, and then you were trying to track a button click here. So I'll go to check what happened there, just so I don't waste you guys' time too much. And then if we can get it again in the evening, I think 6 should be okay. What do you guys think? Let me know. I think it's okay. Okay, yeah, 6 is okay. So if you can, please, you try to join again at 6. In 30 minutes, we should be done. So you can go back to your normal um, Saturday evening activities.